Good morning and welcome to the Daily Huddle. Today is Friday, the 21st of February. And on Fridays, Giovanni Gonzalez and myself, we always dive into all good things, business and leadership. And today I want to have a conversation with you about what I call the number one communication hack. How to make company relationships strong and build high-performing teams. Now, is it really a hack? Maybe it's not a hack, but it's so obvious that sometimes we miss it. So here's the deal, folks. When you look at an organization, when you look at your company, when you look at your relationships at home, those relationships are between people. Yes? And in any relationship, people do one thing mostly. People talk. So you could conclude and say that in any company, in any relationship, the quality of the talk that's happening in the relationship will determine the quality and the strength of the relationships. Tracking so far? So organizations, companies are nothing more, nothing less than people talking. So you could say that a company is a group of relationships, and that group of relationships is run, you could say, governed by the communication, the conversations happening between those relationships. If that's the case, then as a company owner, as a leader in a Fortune 500 company, it behooves you to say, so how do I strengthen those relationships? And the only way you can do it is by strengthening the conversations happening. So, how to make your company relationship strong and build high-performing team. Here is the hack. You probably can relate. When you're speaking to someone and that person is speaking over you or not paying attention to you, and you don't get the experience of being heard, you go crazy, don't you? So this is the principle. People will do crazy things when they don't have the experience of being heard. So the strength of relationships in a company hinges on my ability as the owner, my ability as a team member to actually give people the experience of being heard. So folks, this is the number one hack. How do you give people throughout your company and your relationships the experience of being heard? And you might think, if I stay silent and I listen to them, that will give them the experience of being heard. Nope, it doesn't happen that way. People get the experience of being heard in three ways. Here they are. This is the hack. You ready? People get the experience of being heard when the words they speak to me or to you are fed back to them, almost verbatim, like literally. Take a moment right now and pretend you're going to give me the experience of being heard. And what you're endeavoring to do is to hear my words and feed them back to me the same way I give them to you. That takes something. And that's the first step in giving people in your company, in your relationships, the experience of being heard. It's called to repeat or parrot the words they say. So if I say to you, I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to get bananas and juice, you'd say to me, oh, I hear you say you're going to the grocery store and you're going to get bananas and juice. And I'd say, yeah. Now, it's a funny thing that when you parrot the words that somebody say, it leaves them with the experience of being heard. That's the first level. And at that level, there's something about the neuroscience of the brain that matters. See, when I don't have the experience of being heard, there's this little part of my brain called the limbic system that actually feels threatened. And when you parrot the words to me, it calms that part of my brain down. And it puts me in a space where I can think with you. So that's the first part of the hack, to repeat and parrot the words that somebody says. It doesn't matter. You may be in a project team meeting. You may be in a board meeting. You may be discussing how the company is going to get taken over in a merger. It doesn't matter. People get the experience of being heard at this first level when you parrot and repeat the words they say. The second level goes like this. People don't talk just for the sake of talking. People talk in a relationship because they have a commitment. They have an intention they're looking to fulfill. And often, when I don't take the time to do the work at level one to repeat and parrot the words of another, I miss the commitment they have. So the second level of actually giving people the experience of being heard goes like this. Not only do I parrot and repeat the words you say, I actually take the time to confirm in my listening the commitment I think you have. So let's go back with the trivial example. I say I'm going to the grocery store to buy bananas and juice. And you would say to me, I hear you say you're going to the grocery store to get bananas and juice. And you know what? I hear your commitment in the background to make sure that there is food in the refrigerator so that all members of the family can be fed. I know that's a trivial example, but that part right there, to actually acknowledge and create in somebody else's listening the commitment you hear they have, is golden. So on a team project, somebody may be saying something that is controversial or confronting, whatever it is. If you listen and if you take the time to parrot and repeat what they say, you will hear, as you parrot and repeat what they say, the commitment they have. And when you say that commitment out loud, you get to check in with them. You'd say something like, Saurel, the commitment I'm hearing in the background is that you're committed to your family being well. You're buying bananas and juice. Is that correct? Because see, the commitment I hear isn't the truth. The commitment I hear is the commitment I hear. And I now need to confirm it. So I confirm the commitment with you. I might say, I really love bananas. And I know that my wife, there's this juice from Florida called Tropicana that she loves. And whether she needs it or not, I go to the store. Whenever I go to the store, I like buying the juice for her because I know that's going to make her feel good. So I'm creating in my speaking with you my commitment. That's the second part of the hack. First part of the hack, repeat and parrot the words the person says. Second part of the hack, repeat, parrot the words that they say, and say the commitment you hear in the background. when you hear that commitment in the background and you say it, see, people love to be acknowledged for what they're committed to. And when you create that with them, there is a bond that's created at the level of their commitment that is unlike any other. And it doesn't matter if you know that person a long time. It doesn't matter if you've just met them. It doesn't matter if you have been with them forever. It works. It works when you say, I hear your commitment. Please confirm that with me. That's the second part of the hack. The third part of the hack takes it to another level. So, first part is repeat. Parrot the words they say. Second part, repeat. Parrot the word they say. And acknowledge the commitment you hear in the background. Here's the third part. After you repeat and parrot the word they say and acknowledge their commitment, you now take the time to acknowledge them for who they are as a human being who would have that commitment. So in the realm of me buying bananas and juice, and you got my commitment to really leave my wife feeling good because I'm buying her favorite orange juice, you could acknowledge me for being someone who cares for others and will take all the measures to ensure that the people in my life are fed, acknowledged, loved. And when you do that, you create between you and your team members, you create between you and another person in any relationship, the kind of space where you cannot help but to perform at a high level, because that person in your listening they get to see themselves, they get to hear themselves, they get to hear everything about them. None of the communication is about you at all. Now, if you notice this, in this hack, each of the three levels, there is nothing about you or about me while I'm communicating to another. The first one is I'm attentive. I'm capturing every word, even if I just paraphrase. I'm repeating and parroting the words that you say. The second part, I'm not only repeating and parroting the words that you say, but I'm creating and acknowledging the commitment I hear in the background. And third, beyond the commitment I hear in the background, I'm acknowledging you for the human being you are that would have that commitment. And that creates a space where relationships are strengthened. Now, you don't do that just once. You keep doing it over and over and over and over. And before you know it, the kinds of relationships that are in that company, the kinds of relationships that you have with your significant other, are the kinds of relationship where people are heard, people are acknowledged, and people are known for who they are. But it's not known for who they are that you've envisioned that they are. No, it's who they are that they confirm for you, because you're taking the time to discover it. So I wanted to take those first 15 minutes to shape that space. And now I want one of you to play the game with me of actually creating that. I'm going to communicate with one of you so that you get it in real life, what it looks like what it feels like, and what it produces in terms of cementing relationships in companies. So, who wants to volunteer and play that game with me?
Well, I hate to be your volunteer because we've got people on here that are not Daily Huddle hosts. So I volunteer Ronald.
You volunteer, Ronald. Oh my God.
Come on, Ronald.
There you go.
Tara, you just pulled rank.
I miss you, man. I want to hear your voice.
It's been a roller coaster in my world.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, Ronald. Let's
It's
do it.
fun to see the group. The team is there.
Mm.
I guess I got too much light behind me. Hold on a minute.
Hey, Tara, it's good to see you here.
I love being here. Always.
Probably better.
So while Ronald is getting ready,
Yeah.
and the kind of communication we're talking about doesn't have to be something significant. It could be any communication. So, Ronald, go ahead. Talk to me and I'll talk back to you.
Oh, wow. Um,
Tell me about something that is either important to you or something, what you're going to do later on, and it doesn't matter.
um, okay, so later on, I want to celebrate my mother's birthday. She turned 87 tomorrow, and I'm planning to go on the pick up a cake around lunchtime to take to her daycare to have her celebrate her 87th birthday with her
Mm,
classmates, so to speak.
yeah. So I hear you say, Ronald, that later on you're going to celebrate your mother's birthday. She turns 87 tomorrow, and you're going to pick up a cake and take the cake to her daycare so that she could celebrate her birthday.
Yes,
Did I get that right?
get that right.
All right. Tell me a little more about the birthday celebration. What makes 87 so special?
Um, 87 is, I guess every day is special at that age. But since the day it's tomorrow and she gets to be in the house, but since she actually made some new friends at the daycare, I think it will be appropriate to have her with her friends and just and it's great to see her still doing what she likes and still caring, uh, telling me my hair is not combed, I need to shave this beard. I don't like this beard. She does all these things that she's been doing since 59 years.
Oh
So,
man, at age 87,
yeah,
mother is still your mother,
she's still my mother, man. If my
and
zipper isn't down, she say, pick up your zipper, if my if my hair is not combed, go ahead and get her haircut, and all that.
yeah,
So I think tomorrow is special for her. So
yeah,
um,
I hear your commitment, Ronald, to making not just your mom's birthday special, but to really create for her the space where, as an adult, she has her life that is separate and distinct from your life. That she has her friends can be with her, and that she also gets to enjoy her family for her birthday. And so you're going to get cake, you're going to have her friends there, you're going to have the family there, and everyone's going to celebrate this big day with your mom.
yes,
Yeah. And it takes something, Ronald, to actually care for an elder parent, doesn't it?
oh yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And and so I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge you for having the commitment to care for your mom. And I also want to acknowledge you for the son that you are, that will stop at nothing to have your mother's life at age 87 be the most fulfilling it can be. Yeah. And it's not just a birthday. I could see you doing that every weekend for her.
Yes.
Just making sure that she's cared for, making sure that she's having fun and living a fulfilled life at age 87 and beyond.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get the acknowledgement.
So, Ronald, for the rest of the people listening, give them a sense of what it was like for you to be in this conversation. And it's a conversation. You actually don't know how it's going to go. And you use the three approaches to feel your way through the conversation and to be with somebody else, whether it's in a company, whether it's in your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your wife. You just use that approach to get close and connect and create in a way that leaves the relationships strong. So what was it like for you being listened that way and having this conversation with me?
Um, it actually feel that I matter. I mean, the what I'm doing is not in vain. It is something that I mean, I wake up this morning, and I'm looking, I say, okay, so tomorrow is February 22nd. So this is mom's birthday. So I gotta do something special because every day is great. So the fact that I hear you saying, I'm listening to you saying that I I make every day special, and I actually give her space, her life. It feels like we're not just trailing to the age or trailing to the moment. She's a very active being in the family that will make sure that we personally, I mean, I make sure that I keep the space for her where she is totally happy at all time.
Yeah,
I mean, although there's some downtime, I would say at 87 you got some downtime, you had some uptime. So it was, I mean, I get that you get my commitment to her being constantly happy.
yeah. And our relationship, you've known me for a long time, but assume, even though you've known me for a long time, how did this conversation impact our relationship in this moment?
Um, it reinforces it to the level that you knowing that you know my mother as well. It's it's uh it it's actually almost like, even I know the distance, maybe it may be kind of hard for you to come tomorrow to my house on impromptu, but it's almost feel like you are part of that story as well. You're part of that commitment as well. That knowing the way you respond to it, it makes me feel that you're part of the story. It's almost like, hey, so well, if you get time, jump in the car and come over. We're making brunch with my mom tomorrow morning. So and that's what it feels like, that you are as much as committed to her life that I am committed to her.
Yeah.
So it's your son. You're the son too.
Thank you, Ronald. Thank you. And that's the nature of these conversations. So in a company, on a project team, uh, And it doesn't matter what the subject is. The subject could be your mother's birthday, or it could be the fact that there's something on the project that's not working. And I'm taking the time to hear you, repeat and parrot your words to you, see and hear and feel the commitment behind it, and then acknowledge you for who you are that would have that commitment. That kind of communication always creates in a company, on a project team, a space where people want to work with each other, a space where people, even though they may be having difficulty, they create a space where their performance is supported by that communication. They feel like, yeah, I'll go to the end. I'll go to the end of it for the person that's communicating to me that way. And it's not a strategy where you're manipulating people. It's not that at all. It is that wherever you are, whether it's in a company or in a conjugal relationship, there's the opportunity to really connect. And that communication hack will get you to connect. There's no way you can be listening to parrot the words of another and be listening to yourself. There's no way you can be listening to parrot and repeat the words of another and really hear their commitment and be thinking about yourself. And when you acknowledge who they are, it's not coming from some place where you're guessing. It's a feeling and a knowing. It's like, oh my God, I really got connected to you and your love for your mother. Like that. And that kind of connection is possible, if not required, everywhere. Thank you, Ronald.
Thank
Questions,
you.
comments? We've got a couple of minutes left.
Thank you, Ronald. That made it all real. What a perfect example, too, of what you're planning to do today. And thank you, Saurel. This has been enlightening.
Yeah, that was wonderful to see and witness. Even talking about being touched, I was like over here blinking back tears. It just sounded so genuine and loving and just like caring. And I was thinking of how when you're in a work meeting and God, the difference it would be if, like, say, if I'm speaking up and sharing an idea or someone else's that the person facilitating just got and recreated, whatever someone is sharing. I was just like, wow, um, like I would have just felt much better if I just felt acknowledged. And so it was just really beautiful. So I thought it was perfect that you said that it works and it makes a difference, whether it's a, you know, platonic relationship, romantic relationship, work relationship. It just really makes a difference. And so hearing it, I just thought, gosh, yeah, just hear me, care, make me feel like you heard what I said and then like acknowledge it. And so I just thought it was beautiful. Thank you for that. And thank you for being open, Ronald, to be inside of that dialogue. I was just so touched hearing about your mom. I was like, wow. So thank you.
Thank you, Shiva.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ronald. And there is a myth that says conversations like this may be only reserved for personal relationships, like a good friend, a significant other. And I want you to know I'm on a mission that conversations like that are the norm in corporations, companies, places of business. That the same people who go home to their wives and children and husbands are the same people who show up at work. And to the extent that that human being is acknowledged in the place of work, as counterintuitive as it feels and sounds, that may be the secret to building high-performing teams.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's your daily huddle for today.
Glad I jumped in, man.
I'm glad you jumped in, brother. So here we are. 7 tenets plus 1. The first tenet is love. Now, when you communicate like that, you will end up falling in love. And there's something magical about falling in love, and people reserve that phrase for falling in love with someone you're romantically involved with. And I'm inviting you to fall in love with the people you work with. I'm inviting you to fall in love with your barista at Starbucks. I'm inviting you to honor humanity that way. Laugh out loud. Laugh. Come on. Laugh. And if you can't laugh,
that's serious.
come on, get somebody to tickle you, okay? Eat mostly plant-based. Yep. You know, I do say mostly because every now and then somebody bumps into a hamburger and you can't resist. But mostly plant-based. Stress less. Stress less. Give of your time. Give of your heart. Give of your listening. Give. And sleep. Get some rest. Move your body. And Dr. Monica Ogando added an 8th tenet, and it goes like this. You know, just when you think you're right about something, you may not be. So check your assumptions. Check your assumptions. And give another the benefit of being right and see what happens. That's your daily huddle for the day. Folks, we're here every weekday morning from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And your daily huddle is brought to you by a group of hosts who love to give. One of them is here with me. That's Tara Heaton. Tara, thank you for giving the way you do. And we have a number of others on Mondays. Gio and I are yours on Tuesdays. Tara and a band of 3 phenomenal women on Wednesday, Mr. Chase Steele Gray. On Thursday, Dr. Monica Ogando. And on Friday, Gio and I again. I love you. Giovanni loves you more. This is your daily huddle. Make it a phenomenal weekend.
Thank you, Saurel.
Thank
If you
you.
would have said about bumping into the hamburgers before the laughing, definitely would have been laughing.